Over the past few months, there's been a steady drumbeat of rumors suggesting Philadelphia 76ers guard James Harden is opening to re-signing with the Houston Rockets if he becomes a free agent this summer. It's not certain if these are true, but we also know that everything is possible in the NBA. So join us in this video as we explore these James Harden trade rumors and what it would turn out to mean for the Philadelphia 76ers. Heading into the highly anticipated offseason, a cloud of uncertainty looms over the Philadelphia 76ers, casting a shadow on the future of their star player, James Harden. Whispers and rumors have swirled in recent months, hinting at a possible reunion between Harden and his former team, the Houston Rockets. While the Sixers had hoped to secure his re-signing, each passing day seems to dim that glimmer of hope. And the latest news regarding Harden's intentions has delivered an unexpected twist, throwing the Sixers into disarray as they plan for the offseason ahead. According to an intriguing report from the Philadelphia Inquirer, insiders anticipate that Harden will bid farewell to the city of brotherly love and embark on a new chapter by returning to the Rockets. This revelation comes as a devastating blow to the franchise, still reeling from a heartbreaking defeat in the Eastern Conference semifinals, where they let slip a commanding 3-2 series lead against the Boston Celtics. Undoubtedly, this unforeseen turn of events must feel like a gut punch for the team and its devoted fan base. But could James Harden have a change of heart? Well, the realm of possibility still exists. Of course, the landscape of the NBA is as mercurial as the tides. The offseason, with its whirlwind of negotiations and signings, often defies expectations. However, given the recent trends surrounding Harden's intentions, the aforementioned report arrives with little surprise. Harden, driven by a desire to secure a long-term contract, one that may mark the pinnacle of his illustrious career, appears poised to depart the Sixers. One might ponder whether this was his master plan all along. Perhaps last season, when he willingly accepted a slight pay cut to remain with the Sixers, Harden envisioned a grand scheme, a plan to join forces with Joel Embiid and set forth on a quest for an NBA championship. And yet, it seems Harden harbors aspirations elsewhere if their pursuit fell short, as it regrettably did in the company of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn. Houston, his former basketball home, now beckons, waiving the bait of a lucrative contract that would solidify his legacy and secure his financial future for years to come. To fault Harden for this turn of events would be unjust. He engaged in the timeless song and dance that fans expect from their superstar athletes. He dared to dream of championship glory, actively seeking the ideal partnership to accomplish that lofty goal. But then, fate intervened, denying him the ultimate triumph alongside Durant and Irving, and now alongside Embiid in Philadelphia. It appears his heart yearns for something different. A new chapter, a fresh challenge. Should this report prove true and the Rockets willingly open their coffers to grant Harden's free agency desires, we must commend him for embracing his destiny unapologetically. What would James Harden's departure mean for the Sixers and the future of Embiid? The bigger woe that would confront the Sixers with Harden's departure is his replacement and the ultimate risk of losing their now only star, Embiid. Replacing Harden's league-leading 10.7 assists per game from last season with an annual salary in the low teens would prove to be an arduous task for the Sixers. While Russell Westbrook may stand as the lone exception, team president Daryl Morey has already ventured down that road before. The desire of acquiring Fred VanVleet as a priority target is still there, but it is highly likely that he will command a salary that more than doubles what the Sixers can offer per year. Alternatively, the Sixers may opt for a quieter summer, biding their time before potentially making a splash with a max contract signing in 2024. However, convincing Joel Embiid, particularly after his recent MVP win, to accept a step back may prove to be a more difficult task. Coming off his first ever MVP award, followed by another playoff injury and a disappointing postseason exit, Embiid is bound to return even more determined and well-rounded, fueled by an insatiable hunger to secure a championship. If the Sixers fail to make significant moves in free agency and struggle to enlist Embiid's faith in their future plans for the following offseason, tensions may reach a breaking point between the two parties. Well, this doesn't mean that the Sixers absolutely must trade Joel Embiid this summer. He remains under contract for another 4 seasons and is highly unlikely to switch teams in the near future. However, should Harden depart this summer, an argument emerges that no one on the Sixers roster, including Embiid, should be deemed untouchable. The seismic shift brought about by Harden's absence could prompt the organization to consider major changes as they strive to navigate the tumultuous landscape of the NBA and reignite their championship aspirations. Without a significant free agent coup in 2024, however, the team's prospects for acquiring a third superstar are dim. Their future first-round picks, already committed to the San Antonio Spurs and Utah Jazz through the Brooklyn Nets, are encumbered until at least 2029. Second-round picks are not exempt from this puzzle either, with 2023 and 2024 relinquished and obligations owed to other teams until 2026. Nonetheless, there's still a glimmer of hope, courtesy of a trade deadline transaction involving McDaniels securing a 2024 New York Knicks second-rounder and a 2029 Portland Trail Blazers second-rounder. Amidst this ocean of limitations, the Sixers could endeavor to capitalize on their remaining assets and cash in on them. Armed with what picks they have left, Tyrese Maxey could serve as the centerpiece, complemented by Tobias Harris as the necessary salary filler, but making that deal for someone like Bradley Beal may prove futile in bridging the gap that separates them from championship glory. In truth, it might even propel them further away from legitimate contention. So, the notion of reconstructing their squad without Harden, fortified only by a non-taxpayer MLE acquisition, perhaps the likes of Bruce Brown Jr., offers scant promise of surpassing this year's performance. Unless a 2024 arrival of luminaries such as Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, an uncertainty still lingers, questioning how they will assemble enough talent to elevate Embiid and restore the Sixers to the pantheon of legitimate title contenders. Over the years, we've all had a good laugh at the expense of teams like the Portland Trail Blazers and Washington Wizards. They held on to their star players long after their championship hopes had faded into oblivion. Now it seems that the Philadelphia 76ers might find themselves teetering on that same precipice. We can't be hypocrites. We should at least entertain the idea of the Sixers exploring trade offers for Joel Embiid. Unlike Ben Simmons, Embiid hasn't publicly demanded a trade, at least not to our knowledge. However, he hasn't completely closed the door on the possibility of playing for another team at some point. In a late March interview with Mark J. Spears of Andscape, Embiid revealed, "I've always said that it would be nice to play for one team for your whole career. It would be fun, but sometimes you also want new challenges and all that stuff. But it would mean a lot. I've been here for such a long time, but it would just validate all the suffering and all the hard work that we put in." If there ever comes a time when Embiid loses confidence in the Sixers' ability to validate the suffering, he might entertain the idea of joining a team with a closer shot at a championship. Admittedly, there aren't many teams that could offer the necessary haul while remaining in contention themselves. However, a few franchises could potentially thread that needle. The Oklahoma City Thunder come to mind, especially if they put together a package that includes Chet Holmgren and Josh Giddey. Additionally, teams like the New York Knicks and Portland Trail Blazers appear desperate to make a significant upgrade this offseason. It's essential to consider the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement in all of this. With the implementation of a second salary cap apron set $17.5 million above the luxury tax line, first-round picks and their cost-controlled rookie scale contracts might become more valuable than ever before. The days of trading 3 first-round picks for fringe all-stars may be coming to an end, leading teams to become more protective of their picks in general. If the Sixers ever contemplate trading Embiid, it would be wise to get ahead of that trend instead of falling behind. Naturally, the mere thought of trading Embiid might not sit well with most Sixers fans, and it's understandable why. He has been the shining beacon of the past decade of Sixers basketball. Regardless of what happens from this point forward, he has already solidified himself as one of the greatest players in franchise history. However, there are fans who might be willing to part with him if it means giving him a better chance at a championship elsewhere. Even if he doesn't find that validation in Philadelphia, some fans might prefer to see him retire without the bitter taste of being one of the best players from his generation never to win a championship. Maybe you should just ask Charles Barkley how that story goes. So, while the Sixers shouldn't actively seek out trade offers for Embiid if James Harden departs, they shouldn't simply hang up the phone if other teams come calling either. They'll need to evaluate whether they believe in their ability to maintain a championship-contending roster around Embiid, or if it would be best for both parties to part ways. In the wake of this unexpected development, the Sixers find themselves ensnared in a complex web of uncertainty, facing a treacherous offseason that demands difficult decisions. The path forward for the franchise brims with unanswered questions, leaving fans and management alike pondering the future with bated breath. Uncertainty, as it often does, breeds opportunity, and only time will reveal the course the Philadelphia 76ers choose to navigate in the wake of this unexpected turn of events.